Joining us is Brigadier General Zola Mbi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am.
So firstly, in terms of what we are seeing on the screen, that of course in picture right now is the presidential motorcade that is coming through. But just give us a sense of the procession that we saw that precedes that.
Thank you very much for having us. Firstly, we started with the preparations in October 2023. Where Major General Mbi, who actually led the planning team from the SANDF, had work sessions from within the SANDF. Now you will see that all the arms of services and divisions of the SANDF, starting from the SA Army, the SA Air Force, the SA Navy, as well as Military Health Service, we combined all these assets to make sure that we prepare effectively for this day. Now you saw earlier on we deployed different capabilities and elements. Firstly, on the ground we had gun troop that was already deployed for with the guns to make sure that when the time allows and we are ready for the 21 gun salute. It was followed by the street lining. Now you'll find first, before we deploy the street lining, we put the flag bearers. Once they are in deployment positions, then we roll out the street lining. Once we finish with that, we then have all other members, also some off-site. For instance, you will find that the SA Air Force is taking point, where they take off point. They will be ready for the 21 gun salute as well as the national anthem for the fire blast. Now, all the members now in position, and you saw earlier on, just a few minutes ago, the National Ceremonial Guard is marching now to take position. They are wearing the green uniform, which is normally that unit it used to be called in yesteryears the presidential unit, but after 1994, when it was recently established in 1996, it was now called National Ceremonial Guard. It was also pulled through by the National Ceremonial Guard band, which is wearing a red uniform. So they will be now performing the national salute and presenting arms. They will be accompanied by the 21 gun salute as well as a fly past, which will be performed by 3 helicopters. In front, it will be the Augusta 109. Followed by the BK 117, and at the back it will be the Super Lynx.
Very interesting indeed, of course. And I'm sure people who are starting to only pay attention to the detail now will be asking all manner of questions, including whether there's any significance to it being a 21 gun salute and not 22 or 2024 gun salute, or whatever 13. The case may be, or 13. So speak to us about, it seems these are all very deliberate details that have significant meaning behind it.
An interesting question. Firstly, the significance of the 21 gun salute, it emanates around the 14th century, where when the ships are visiting each other, they would empty the guns to symbolize that they are coming in peace. It developed in the 17th century, where when ships are visiting other countries, they would empty their guns. Now, what was mounted on the ships were 7 guns, and then on land it will be 3 guns. Now, every round would be responded by a round within inland. So after you empty the 7 rounds and responded by 3, then you now multiply 3 times 7 is 21. So it developed now to be unwritten standard within the world. So it's one of those international standards that heads of states now are accorded the 21 gun salute, which also talks to the royalties such as the queens, the kings, as well as the prime ministers and so forth. So that is actually what has been adopted worldwide.
Very fascinating indeed. And of course, the live visuals you're also seeing there as we continue our discussion here at the Union Buildings is the motorcade accompanying President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa making his way to where we are, the seat of government. In the lead up, of course, to him being sworn in after taking his pledge, all the dignitaries and former heads of states are already seated here. And as we mentioned, in any moment now, we're also waiting to see the SANDF also take over as part of their ceremonial contribution to what is taking place here. And we'll continue our conversation with Brigadier General Mbi, who's with us as part of the SABC. I understand there's also going to be an inspection of the South African National Defence Force Battalion. How thorough is this inspection? What does it entail?
Well, I think I should just correct that part, because initially, if you recall, the battalion was actually pledged for if we are going to a stadium. However, at this point in time, we are now have changed venue to the Union Building. So therefore, we will not have the inspection for the battalion. And it is actually, as I narrated earlier on, it's only those elements now that will be performing.
And just in terms of the lining of the route, Brigadier General, you said, and we've noticed, you saw the flag bearers earlier. Just talk to us in terms of what we are seeing.
Now, you will see, for instance, now the motorcade is passing now the SA Navy. Now, the seniority of the services, it would be the SA Army. The president-elect has passed the SA Army. The second to SA Army, it will be the SA Air Force. That has also, he has passed that. Then it is now the SA Navy. It is third in line in terms of seniority. Then the last, it would be the South African Military Health Service. So those four arms of services, as I indicated, that is in accordance to the seniority of services. So then when they have lined up, it's a matter of now they are also presenting arms to the president-elect. But it's also symbolic in the sense that, you know, as the motorcade is passing through, it's an honor that is given to the president-elect as well.
And I suppose this time around, Ayanda, as you would know, in the last inauguration at the Loftus Versfeld Stadium, I felt sorry for all of those troops who had to stand on the pitch there, and the weather at some point, the sun was beaming down and some of them actually fainted. And you know, Brigadier General, I'm sure they are also, they obviously are prepared for what's to come, but this weather and I suppose the venue also they would welcome.
Yeah, you know, I must say there are other factors. There are other factors which may, you know, lead to such incidents. However, I must say this venue is actually befits very well under any circumstances, and also the weather today is really it is welcoming, I must say. Yeah.
We'll put it that way for now. The overarching kind of theme for what we're also witnessing is a pledging to the Republic of South Africa and a pledging to support the Commander-in-Chief, which is going to be the President-elect. I mean, how does that unfold? What does that aspect entail? Or, as far as you're concerned, is that already happening at the moment?
Now, once the president-elect has taken oath, now is now the president of the Republic, the commander-in-chief of the South African National Defence Force. Now, that is when the national salute will be presented to the president, the commander-in-chief. For us as the National Defence Force, we pledge our allegiance to the flag, to the head of state, to the country, to all the citizens of the Republic, that we are going to serve this country with loyalty and pride. And also, as primarily you will understand that the Constitution of the Republic is instructive that the National Defence Force is there to defend and to protect the sovereignty of the country and its people. So that is our pledge, and we shall do that.
So as we see, that motorcade has already arrived here at the Union Buildings, and as you were explaining to us earlier, Brigadier General, we've seen now another change in uniform. So that means that these are now the most senior in terms of rank, as you'd been explaining to us.
Well,
Not
now
yet.
this is now the South African Military Health Service, which is now the most junior
The
service.
least, right.
We're
going down
we're
the
going
ranking.
down the ranks.
Exactly.
Oh, we came from the most senior out front.
we started with the most senior, which is the service. Now, the military health service is the junior service within the SANDF, because SANDF is formed by 4 arms of services.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. That I
No,
suppose.
I just had it the other way around.
All very important, of course.
Yes.
Right. This is just, I suppose, a means of understanding the rankings inside the army itself. But there you have it. There on the left-hand side of your screen, and now your full screen, the motorcade entering the Union buildings, which means at any moment now we're likely to spot President-elect Cyril Ramaphosa make an appearance. I started off our broadcast by saying, "Cometh the hour, cometh the man." Today is certainly about Cyril Ramaphosa himself, and this is certainly what a lot of people also look forward to witnessing in many ways. I can never get over just how synchronized everybody is who's part of what we typically see. But Brigadier General, take us through what we're witnessing at the moment.
Well, if I can also just add, the president-elect was also escorted, or rather is escorted by the military police. Now, this what you see now is the National Ceremonial Guard. In front is the band, the National Ceremonial Guard band, wearing red. Now, the green is the National Ceremonial Guard. Now, this guard was formed in 1996, as I indicated earlier on. Interestingly, this uniform was also chosen by the late Tato Matiba on the 26th of June, 1997. So they are now the ones who are going to present arms when the president-elect has now taken oath.
Very, very interesting. But as you say, you speak about the synchronicity here. Brigadier, you say they started practicing in October already.
No, the planning started in October.
The planning.
But the unit itself, this one in particular, it is the mandate for it. It is actually ceremonial activities. So they are doing this. It's like
The same people we see in Parliament.
precisely.
All